I don't necessarily think really deeply about experiences, but I fucking feel them. And I know that through every experience, whether it's good and I'm triumphant or bad and I'm exposed, there's opportunity in every single thing, no matter what the face of it is, you know, defeat or victory. And I've had just my life, I've lived a lot of contrast. And by contrast, that means obstacles, that means injuries, that means failures, that means, you know, heartbreak. And within that, having lived it truly and like letting myself feel exposed and vulnerable and letting myself learn and be devastated, I've learned that there's fucking positives and it fortifies you for whatever's next. And there's always something that's next. You know, I'm never gonna get to a place and be like, I'm here, I'm done. You know, let's call it quits. Like I'm in it for the long haul. And I don't care, I'm gonna be 90 years old on my way to heaven, still learning, because that to me is what life is about. And so when I say that my weaknesses were exposed and there's strength in it, I believe in it with all my heart. You know, like when there's a highlight on you and it's the softest part of you and you therefore have to look at it and either train it better or figure out why it's weak or whatever it is, if you take advantage of that, that's a beautiful, powerful thing. I think it's just accountability and ownership of your part in any situation that is a failure. You know, myself on the court, I'm there to perform. I'm there to, you know, elevate my partner's play and our team play. And if I'm failing, then am I gonna blame her? Am I gonna blame the sun in my eyes? Like, then I'm a victim and then I have no power. Same thing with relationships. You know, right before you come on here, I was telling you about my husband. We just got in a fight and I always wanna take accountability. The gold is the goal. I also wanna win a gold medal every single day on the way to winning a gold medal in Tokyo. You know, and I feel like I didn't do that in Rio. Like I feel like my heart was in it, but I compromised a lot in certain things and certain parts of my relationship with my partner. And when things get hot and heavy, if you're not fortified together and totally aligned, shit's gonna happen, you know? And I take full ownership of that and I learn from that. And I'm gonna live that on the way to Tokyo. And if I'm doing something, I'm doing it to win it, whatever winning it means. And to me, I'm not going for silver. Like I'm not going for bronze, I'm not going for fifth, I'm not going for the experience. I'm doing it for the growth along the way, absolutely, because I love growing as a human being. And the relationships that I have that just get deeper and richer. And my life is so beautiful because of the journey to the games. If I fall short, it's not gonna be a failure. You know, I'm not gonna talk like that, like fuck that. I just wanna talk, I don't like talking about losing. It's part of my job is to handle the losses. And one of the points of contention with Mike Gervais and I, my sports psychologist, he's like, you gotta talk about losing. Like, what if it happens? Like, you need to be prepared for that. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I've lost too much in my career. I know what that's like. It's not life or death, you know? I almost lost my marriage. That's 100 million times worse. I've lost loved ones in my life. That's 1 billion times worse. This is just a game that fills me up so much, that matters to me so much, that's willing to risk and suffer the heartbreak if that happens, you know? And again, those losses and that exposure through losses, like it's said every single day, but it's so true. Like you just learn so much more. Winning and, you know, winning like covers up a lot of shit, you know? And only like riding like in a feathered nest and perfect, it's bullshit. Like, it's beautiful. I strive for that. I will never say like, no, I don't want the easy path. Like, but I want to earn it and grow through it. And that generally comes through the challenging times. Like, I'm not afraid of my dark side. I'm not afraid of my mistakes. They still hurt me. You know, they drive me. But I'm not a believer in that. Like, it's a fucking choice to be positive. And, you know, some days it's easier than others. And but you know, it's just, if I can be cynical and negative or positive and optimistic about the future, like I know what I'm gonna choose every single time. And it doesn't mean it's bullshit. Leading with love, I think, is a really beautiful thing. Love for yourself, first and foremost, and love for what you're doing. Like, you're never a victim in life. I really don't believe that regardless of circumstance, you can choose to not be a victim. And I would like to be an example of that. Being kind is never out of fashion and it's never gonna lead you astray. Personal accountability is huge. I mean, my parents were really like, if you're gonna do something, do it the right way. Never make excuses and fucking do it with a smile. Like, those are the 3 things in my life that my parents told me, and they modeled that for me. And if I could just hit on those 3 things with my kids, I think they'd be very successful.
right now.